Hey everyone, hope you're well. Today is a book haul video. So I got some history and some historical fiction books that I ordered from book outlets. So I'm going to go through those, and I'm getting pretty long on books right now. So I think this is going to be the last book haul in a little while. But we'll see. You never know what's going to happen. So I'm just going to jump into it, and I'm going to start with the history books, and then I'll finish with the historical fiction because I got a couple of those that are surprised me that I bought. But anyway, first book that I'm going to talk about is Endurance by Alfred Lansing. This is about Shackleton's journey into the North. If you've watched my channel at all or some of my earlier videos, you'll know that I just love shipwreck videos, treasure ships, Spanish gold, disasters, and the northern sort of Arctic and Antarctic ship voyages are some of the most fascinating, like the Endurance, the struggle to survive. These are amazing stories about human capacity to do things. So I just love these types of books, and I'm really looking forward to this one. This one comes highly recommended. I know Wager was a super awesome book, so I'm really looking forward to this one. And we'll see. It's not what I'm reading right now, but we'll see when I get to this. And yeah, Endurance, Shackleton, amazing stuff. Now doing getting a little bit more classical in orientation. This is the book I'm reading right now. This is called Alexander at the End of the World, The Forgotten Final Years of Alexander the Great. So really looking forward to this one. The history of this period is fantastic. I think this book is mostly about the conquests that Alexander made after he defeated, I think it was Darius the Third, the Persian Empire, and then after that he went all the way into India. And this is all about those conquests, and I'm not sure if it takes us back around when he comes back from the subcontinent, but we'll see where it gets. This one I'm just kicking off today, so I'm really excited to read this one. Looking forward to it. I've gone deep on my classical history so far in this first quarter of Historathon, and I have been absolutely loving it. So excited to read this book by Rachel, and then it's Kusar. I'm not sure exactly how to spell or to pronounce Rachel's last name, but it's Rachel Kusar, and it's Alexander at the End of the World. So super awesome, exciting to read that one. The next book that I bought, and this is part of my project to sort of read more North, Central, South American history, and particularly or conflict period with indigenous and European settlers. So this is called The Last Days of the Inca by Kim McCory. I don't know much about this one. Looks good. The Incan Empire was a fantastically interesting period of time. I would love to go, and I do hope that one day I'll be able to go to places like Peru, to Cusco and stuff like that, the capital of the Incan Empire, and see some of the sites. But I'm really looking forward to this one. I think that I may be reading this one after I finish the Alexander book. So yeah, The Last Days of the Incas by Kim McCory. Looks super fantastic. We'll see how it goes. So then the next book that I got, this is more sort of in my wheelhouse as far as my historical background, like my in-depth background. This is called, it's To Besiege a City by Prit Buttar. And this is about the siege of Leningrad, 1941 to 1942. This is maybe a less well-known battle on the Eastern Front. Obviously, Stalingrad is something that everybody knows and has read about, or possibly read about, but probably have heard of. The Battle of Kursk is probably more famous too, the largest tank battle in history. The battle for Moscow, but on the Eastern Front, Leningrad, as it was called then, now St. Petersburg, was surrounded by the German army, and supplies would come in across Lake Lagoda from the north and the east, but Leningrad was surrounded by the German army for a very long period of time, and the people of Leningrad suffered greatly trying to survive the starvation and the shelling and the conflict. So I've never read anything specifically on Leningrad or the siege before, so I'm excited to read this one. This is a Osprey book, so my past reading of Osprey stuff has been happy, so I'm looking forward to this one. I hope it's a good book. We'll see. The Telegraph says it was excellent, but I don't trust the newspaper reviews. I prefer people on the internet, to be honest. Anyway, this is To Besiege a City, Leningrad, 1941 to 1942 by Prit Butar. All right, so those were the history books that I bought. So now flipping into the historical fiction. And like I said, these ones were a surprise to me. I got 2 books. They're both by Dan Jones, Essex Dogs and Wolves of Winter. So these 2 historical fiction books. I do like historical fiction. I think I mentioned in a previous video, I'd never read a Dan Jones book before, like one of his histories. So it's a little bit weird that the first foray into Dan Jones's writing has been in the form of nonfiction rather than actual historical writing, which is what he's actually known for. I have read already Essex Dogs. This is the first in the series. And so this basically follows King Edward III's army into France up to the Battle of Crécy, where the English longbowmen sort of destroyed the French knights and the French chivalry, the great slaughter there. This is very different than some of the other historical fiction of the period. Like if you've read Harlequin, you might have read like a similar nonfiction book that was on a similar theme. This is very different than Harlequin. This is really about a very small group of it's called Essex Dogs, and it's about a squad, like a single squad of about. It varies like 8 down to 4. Like it changes over time as the conflict happens. Not everyone lives. I don't think that's a spoiler. At least in this one. So it goes up to the landing in Normandy, and then up to the major conflict at Crécy and a few months later. So what can I say about this? I'll probably include this in a discussion on my next kind of wrap up. So I'm not going to get into this one yet. Leave it to say that, Dan Jones, he's a fiction writer as well. Who knew, right? So I think I don't know if most people know that, but these are published by Viking as well. And it's been a while since I've read any nonfiction, or like historical fiction, sorry. Anything that I really got into. So when I read historical fiction, I tend to read modern historical fiction that's about 20th century events, like First and Second World War. I sort of like that kind of stuff, like All Quiet on the Western Front or For Whom the Bells Toll. I think it's, I've never really sat and analyzed why I prefer sort of 20th century historical fiction, but so Dan Jones and his new series on some medieval battles in France. We'll see how that goes and where that goes. Anyway, that's my last book haul video for a while. And like I said again, these are book outlet books, so well below market price, which is kind of where I'm at these days. And good stuff. Hopefully you guys are doing awesome and getting lots of pages in and buying lots of books, because that's fun too. We'll see you on the next one, and take care.